tomorrow here on ESPN. Oklahoma State and Texas will play the championship game of the Phillips 66 Big 12 championship. And so far in this tournament, every game has been a good one. For Fran Fraschilla, Holly Rowe, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Kansas City. Now to Greensboro. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Dan.
We'd like to welcome those of you who just watched Oklahoma State defeat Baylor in overtime in the Big 12 tournament. We are just underway here in Greensboro. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Allison Williams, the #2 seed Florida State, the #6 seed North Carolina. The Tar Heels playing for the 3rd time in as many nights. They have already defeated Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. Florida State playing for the first time here in the tournament after they advanced because of the Duke COVID situation. So they moved into the semifinals without having played a game. We'll look at the starting lineups brought to you by Kay Jewelers, and you'll see a lot of bodies for Florida State. 10, maybe 11. They are deep. They are talented. Split a couple of meetings with the Tar Heels, each program winning on its home court. Raekwon Gray, Anthony Polite misses the 3, and the rebound down to Kerwin Walton.
Well, North Carolina in man-to-man, and North Carolina has to be mindful not to overhelp on penetration and leave shooters open. That was a problem in the first 2 games that the Tar Heels played against Florida State.
Walton drives into the help of the 7-footer Koprivica. Armando Bacot misses the left-handed runner. Bacot's been playing some great basketball. In transition, an easy lay-in for the senior MJ Walker.
MJ Walker is having a fabulous year as a senior. He was a McDonald's All-American, has gotten better every single year.
Bacot using the glass. How good has he been already in this tournament? All the big guys were dominant against Notre Dame a couple of nights ago, and then Bacot put up big numbers against Virginia Tech last night. 17 points, 13 rebounds.
The last 4 games, 18 points a game and 12 rebounds. He's been running the floor, active on the offensive glass, and very aggressive getting position.
Good defense by Raekwon Evans to force the turnover.
Armando Bacot in the low post against Koprivica. Good footwork and using the glass with that little jump hook. He's been much more aggressive in looking for his offense and getting that position. And last time these 2 teams played, you saw North Carolina do a fair amount of high-low. And they got into situations where they could get the ball to one big guy, look down, and try to throw over the top. So this Florida State team is going to have to do a good job of putting pressure on the ball to take away that vision.
Leonard Hamilton, who's had such a great run in Tallahassee. He's been there since 2002. 12 seasons and as assistant at Kentucky way back in the day. Head coach at Oklahoma State, Miami, Florida State. He's won 575 games, a 3-time Atlantic Coast Conference Coach of the Year. Look at the size on Caleb Love right now. Raekwon Gray, 6'8". Really a positionless guy on both ends of the floor, and you'll see a fair amount of switching from the Seminoles.
Yeah, they switch basically every position. There's really only every screen or exchange. There's really only one position that Florida State has, and that's center. Everybody else is basically interchangeable and positionless.
And their center, Tenor Ngom, just in off the bench, came up with a blocked shot on the last trip. Good battle on the offensive glass, but then Anthony Polite had it smothered.
Leaky Black got it. If Leaky Black didn't get it, it would have been Garrison Brooks. Both were right there.
Black a little strong on the pull-up. Long rebound to Love, and he'll drive into traffic and draw the foul. The Hall of Famer Roy Williams leads his Tar Heels into the Coliseum for the 3rd night in a row. Roy has won 3 ACC Tournament Championships. 2007, 8, 16. Of course, he's also won 3 national championships as the head coach in Chapel Hill.
And wearing his league-leading 27th different pair of shoes tonight.
I would love to see the process where he goes into where it's got to be in the office, not at home. I would think he's got a whole array of shoes. And you think he gets help, or you think he picks them out on?
Oh, I think it's coming from the equipment room.
Yeah.
He might have an array of golf shoes that he goes through in his closet, but I don't think it's Jordan's.
Carolina was the 6th seed in the ACC tournament in Brooklyn in 2018 and advanced to the final. They're trying to get to the final with a win here tonight. The freshman Scottie Barnes left it a little bit short. Brooks down with a rebound.
Barnes played very well the last time these two teams played in Chapel Hill, the game that North Carolina won. He had 6 steals in that one.
Leaky Black way off on the 3. He made a couple of threes last night against Virginia Tech. His first made threes in over a month.
Yeah, probably since that Miami game. He was 4 of 4 in that game. I think he was 1 of 19 since then.
Yeah. And we are already seeing Leonard Hamilton substituting liberally. Engam came in for Koprivica. Koprivica's come back in. And Barnes is in off the bench. They want to wear you down. They want to use a lot of guys. Off the glass, no good for Love. Brooks has it stripped.
Great hands by Polite. That was rather impolite to take the ball away from Garrison Brooks there.
You know, I had that holstered up too, and you beat me to it. Nice crossover by Walker. Nice pass by Walker. And Polite's 3 won't go down. Koprivica has it knocked away. Polite gets it back, gets challenged, and a travel is called. Whew. Carolina by 2 early. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years. Back to ESPN's Champ Week presented by SoFi and the 2021 New York Life ACC Tournament semifinal. North Carolina, Florida State. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, and let's say hello to Allison Williams.
Hey there, Dan. Florida State views this matchup as the Blue Bloods versus the New Bloods. That's how Florida State sees themselves. Maybe they don't have the storied history of some other programs, but they're out to prove that they're here now and they're here to stay. It's a term that Charlton Young, assistant coach, actually came up with several years ago, but one that this team has really rallied around and embraced. They say it's become their identity. And Coach Hamilton said, you know, playing with the Carolinas and the Dukes in this conference creates a challenge for us to all rise up to, and it gives our guys motivation to try and emulate that level of consistent success. Raekwon Gray said, we just want to show what the New Bloods can do in March.
Yeah, when we had a Zoom call, thank you, Allison, with Leonard Hamilton yesterday, as Allison mentioned, he has a world of respect for the tradition of programs like Duke and Carolina. Remember, Leonard is from North Carolina, born and raised, grew up in North Carolina, so he knows all about the history and the tradition. And he says there are still some things that we as a program are learning that those programs have already been through.
Yeah, I think it's the sustained excellence and playing when you're getting everybody's best shot. And it's not just the big guy's best shot. You're getting the best shot from every program, that you can look at them on film and you know that's a walk there. You are not going to get that kind of effort from some of your lesser opponents. They're going to give you their A game and then some.
Well, the Seminoles, the New Bloods, are doing awfully well. You can see their record over the last couple of years. The regular season champions last year, the runner-up this year, and won this tournament back in 2012.
Got a switch. Day'Ron Sharp now is another switch. Well, I'm really surprised MJ Walker didn't drive that when he had Day'Ron Sharp on him in the corner. Just drive that.
Well, they're really embracing the New Blood. Hashtag New Blood. You know, using it to their advantage, and it's not like when they take the court there's any blue blood intimidation or anything like that. I mean, you look at what Florida State has accomplished, and you could say the same for Virginia under Tony Bennett, obviously, including a national championship a couple of years ago and some regular season titles. But, you know, Virginia and Florida State, I mean, they've been landing more blows than they've been absorbing over the last few years.
No question. And I think the expectation is the thing. You know, Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, they're always ranked high because they always seem to deliver. Anthony Harris has done a really good job in the last couple games. He's come in and he has really injected a lot of energy into this North Carolina lineup. Harris off the screen roll, just getting through, weaving through Koprivica and Wilkes, and doing a nice job of playing with pace off that little screen roll situation.
5 Florida State turnovers already mentioned Virginia, and Jay, again, just so unfortunate. We saw it with Duke yesterday, and now we see it with Virginia today. The Cavaliers out of the ACC tournament, still hoping that they can play in the NCAA tournament beginning next week.
Yeah, it's really a question for Charlottesville local health officials as to how it's going to be handled. But Virginia's quarantine started here in Greensboro, and they were allowed by health officials to continue the quarantine as they bust back to Charlottesville. So they're very hopeful that they'll be able to test for 7 straight days negative and then play in the NCAA tournament.
And the three-pointer goes down for Malik Osborne.
That's his second. And Malik Osborne came in after having made 10 threes on the season. It just shows you the versatility of this team. One of your big guys, a stretch four, can step away and knock down a couple of threes in this game. Malik Osborne's a transfer from Rice, where Trey Murphy of Virginia played as well and transferred to the Cavaliers. But he can play in the middle of the floor in their ball screen continuity. He can really move his feet. Rolls hard, talks. He was the best offensive rebounder on this Florida State team last season, and still a very good one. Just there are more excellent rebounders on this team than last year.
Walker Kessler misses a baseline jumper, and it comes down to Day'Ron Sharp, but eventually the Seminoles take it away.
I don't think Day'Ron Sharp wants to be throwing a bounce pass to Walker Kessler. Throw that thing up, man.
And the bucket in transition for Sidar Calhoun, a junior college transfer who's got a ton of offensive ability.
He can shoot it. He's crazy athletic and really fast. Florida State does such a good job defensively. They really push North Carolina further out on the floor. The passes are more difficult and longer. Just in transition, essentially a secondary break, and because Florida State had run the floor wide and gotten to the corners, that really opened up the middle of the floor for Calhoun to get into the lane and make that play. And he's not only got speed, he's strong.
It's about 15 minutes a game off the bench, averages 6 points per game. On any given night, any one of like 7 or 8 guys could be the leading scorer for Florida State. And this is the way Leonard Hamilton has played it in recent years. He says, we look for guys who think about the team more than themselves, who don't have too big of an ego in terms of scoring or minutes. We want everybody to understand what it's all about here.
And they get results, not just in wins and losses, but they get results in getting to the NBA draft.
Yeah.
And playing fewer minutes doesn't affect their productivity. They can actually be more productive with the way they play in fewer minutes than they could if they played at a lesser pace in more minutes.
And a perfect example of maybe the next guy who's going to go from Tallahassee into the NBA is Scottie Barnes, who is a 6th man for this team. He was the ACC 6th man of the year, also the ACC freshman of the year. And you want to talk about a guy with great energy and positivity. And I mean, he uplifts his teammates. Leonard told us, he said, when we have breakfast every day, he goes, the only problem is Scottie needs to hug everybody in the room before he goes to get his food.
Well, you see Patrick Williams last year, who wound up being the 4th pick in the draft, didn't start. And Scottie Barnes this year, 3rd team All-ACC. He's the leading freshman assist guy in the league, rookie of the year in the ACC, and 6th man of the year.
And that's Carolina just does not get back in time.
Well, you can see the length, athleticism, and skill level of Scottie Barnes. And now he can go out, and now he's guarding essentially a point guard, can switch out on anybody with that length. Get steals, deflections.
He is 6'9", was basically a power forward in high school as Kessler is fouled. But Scottie Barnes
Championship and Pac-12 Championship Saturday on ESPN.
Hey, as part of Champ Week, the SEC Men's Tournament continues tonight with the last quarterfinal matchup. You can see LSU and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, a bubble team, 9:30 Eastern time on the SEC Network. Arkansas is up 10 on Missouri right now. Alabama and Tennessee have already advanced into the semifinals.
And both Alabama and Tennessee today looked like Final Four teams. Tennessee maybe played their best game of the year. And Alabama just blitzed Mississippi State. It was almost unfair. If it were a fight, the referee would have stopped it.
Again, and a follow as Koprivica missed the first one, slammed home the second, and got fouled.
That was the perfect Moses Malone play. Get your own rebound, and then wind up getting fouled out of it for a three-point play. Good second jump by Koprivica, but Koprivica's got great feet, runs the floor. He's really improved from last year to this. And it's unusual for him to miss that bunny. He shoots over 60% and completes plays, but that actually worked out very well for Florida State.
7'1" sophomore from Serbia. The guy he beat down the floor, Walker Kessler, just got taken out of the game as Garrison Brooks comes back in, and you can see Kessler unhappy with himself. In the Carolina playbook is you're supposed to beat the other team down the floor, not get beat by them, and Roy Williams didn't like that.
And North Carolina has been sped up by this Florida State defense. There's the switch. They're basically switching every screen or exchange, and it's really difficult for North Carolina to run offense. You're going to have to make plays, not run plays.
Garrison Brooks had to work really hard to get that shot, and he made it.
And a high release there. Garrison Brooks coming off that ankle sprain that he suffered against Duke when he stepped on Matthew Hurt's foot early on in the game.
Wyatt Wilkes can't knock it down. Yeah, Brooks did not play in the Wednesday night game against Notre Dame. He did return last night against Virginia Tech and played 21 minutes for Carolina.
Look how far out North Carolina has to go just to get the ball and start offense, and they can only run basically 10 seconds of it.
R.J. Davis has had a couple of terrific games in the tournament for the Heels, and he banks one in.
Talk about making a play, not running one. Last couple of games in this tournament, R.J. Davis averaging close to 17 points. He's 11 of 19 from the field, including 6 of 12 from three-point range. He has played very well here in Greensboro.
Gatorade Player of the Year from the state of New York. I think we just had a delay of game warning on Armando Bacot for touching the ball after it went through the basket. Don't forget to check out our alternate angle of tonight's game, the New York Life Above the Rim Cam, streaming live on the ESPN app.
And I love that view because it shows the width of the court. The court is 50 feet wide, and Florida State trying to use all of that width, running that middle ball screen with Koprivica rolling to the basket. That is so difficult to stop if you get help on the roll from either wing, either corner, and all of a sudden, you know, you've got a wide open three.
A turnover on the inbounds. Numbers for Carolina, 4-on-1.
Goaltending.
It should be. Definitely a foul. Should also be a bucket.
I am shocked that they haven't called that yet. That thing was good.
Yeah.
How could they not call that?
Yeah.
How could they miss that?
And the fans, and there are a couple of thousand fans here, most of them rooting for the Tar Heels, they just saw the replay.
That's impossible to miss.
And that's how Roy Williams feels about it. So instead of 2 points and 1 free throw, it's 2 free throws. You know, this is and we were talking about this before the game. Right now, Joe Lunardi's got Carolina as an 8 seed. They clearly have been playing better lately, and who knows where they're going to wind up. But you don't, if you could be a 6 or a 7, you'd much rather do that than be an 8 or a 9, because even if you win your first round game, now you got to play a 1. Everybody understands that. So I think this is not only within the framework of the ACC where it matters, but I think for Carolina to try to get above an 8 seed, a win tonight obviously would be a huge step in that direction.
Well, yeah, it would, but you just like to win, period, because with all respect to all the bracketologists, especially ours, who is the best in Joe Lunardi, that's just a projection. Nobody knows whether that's right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't make my decisions on winning or losing based on that.
Barnes and 1.
Boy, he is a big-time player in transition. He can handle the ball. His footwork excellent. He can actually go off the wrong foot and finish, but he has played point guard here for Florida State after never having played the point in his life, and he has adjusted very nicely. Just a fabulous passer, and that's a terrific finish to get through the contact, and we've seen him do that before. I mean, he had the game winner against Indiana early in the season.
And also had that driving layup against Wake to force overtime, right? And the Seminoles won that game. Allison's got more on Barnes.
Well, the opportunity to play the point is a big reason why Scottie Barnes chose to come to Florida State. He told me to being able to come out and show that I can create offense and lead a team was really attractive. Plus, I felt like I could showcase my versatility in this system on both ends of the court. When he signed with Florida State, he became the highest ranked prospect to do so. He knew he wouldn't play a ton of minutes, maybe like he would somewhere else. It didn't bother him a bit. He's so unselfish.
That's a great point. He is, Allison, so unselfish, but it's so funny. Nobody ever says, you know, Coach promised me I could play center. That's why I went there. He promised me I could bang down in the low post.
Yeah.
Get elbowed in the head.
Yeah, your coach gave you the opportunity to guard Ralph Sampson when you got to Duke.
Actually, this is a true story. He walked in all fired up before we played Virginia and said, all right, who wants Sampson? And nobody said anything. And so I said, all right, I'll take him. I know you're going to give him to me anyway.
M.J. Walker. We got a couple of guys in this game. Garrison Brooks for the Heels. M.J. Walker for the Seminoles, who really, Jay, have had terrific four-year careers at their respective schools.
No question. And M.J. Walker, he can really shoot it. You know, he's made over 73s this year, 77 coming into this game to be exact. But that's what I had talked about a little bit earlier, why I was surprised he didn't drive his matchup. Here he's got Andrew Platek on him and drove it and was able to get that easy bucket. I think if he continues to attack off the dribble, and he's such a good athlete. He was a heck of a football player. He's recruited by Clemson and Michigan as a football player. And if he was that good in football, it's amazing how good he is in basketball.
Janor Ngom just look out. Ooh. And Barnes is okay. Janor Ngom just picked up his second foul. He goes to the bench, and the other 7-footer Koprivica comes back in, and Barnes trying to make sure that he's okay. And if he is, he's a little bit lucky.
He gets a ton of steals, and yeah, he is very fortunate. He's able to brace himself going down with his right hand,
which sometimes is where you really get hurt.
You can, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. This game it reminds you of the game, at least early on, in Chapel Hill, where North Carolina was down 16 in the first half. And if I remember right, they turned the ball over 14 times in that half. And they've turned it over 6 times in this and really haven't been able to run any coherent offense. And that's all due to the outstanding defense, pressure, switching of Florida State.
Let's see how they do without Barnes, who did go to the bench. Boy, Koprivica made the toughest shot that he's taken so far tonight.
That shows his improvement. Able to put the ball on the deck. His feet are so good. He's skilled and he's very mobile. And I think he's going to be able to be a stretch big where he can knock down perimeter shots because he's got a good stroke. Look at all that help and recover.
And it's big help too. I mean, you're always driving into length. They're so big on the perimeter, so long. Day'Ron Sharp, tip back out by Brooks. Love won't go down. Ball is loose, and Brooks trying to call a timeout, but he didn't get it done in time. It'll be a held ball. The arrow will keep it with Carolina.
Nobody is better than North Carolina when they can't grab a rebound of tapping it back out. They do it with free throws all the time, and you always have to be mindful of that. But a great job by Garrison Brooks of getting down on the floor to get that ball and get possession.
Raquan Gray into the game for the Seminoles now as Osborne sits down. 3-guard look for Carolina. Davis, Love, Platek all in the game together. Help again.
Good job by Davis to come behind and present himself as a receiver. That was excellent on that baseline drive to just loop behind Andrew Platek.
So many different guys can be the primary ball handler for Florida State. Calhoun to Koprivica.
What a pass.
And Gray lays it in.
It looked like he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
But the referee was right there. My x-ray vision is from 100 feet.
Davis, no. Polite the rebound. And Walker was out of bounds on the sideline, so it will be Carolina ball. The winner gets Georgia Tech in the championship game tomorrow night, and right now it's the 2 seed. The Florida State Seminoles out to a double-digit lead on the Tar Heels.
Seeding play where Raquan Gray may have stepped out of bounds. You're going to take a look after he caught this pass right here. That's his right foot. The question is, was it hovering above the line? Take another look at it from a different angle. And the referee's right there. And so you don't even have to give the referee the benefit of the doubt. It's his decision. He decides. But he was right on top of it.
Pretty nifty pass from a 7'1" guy in Koprivica to find Gray under the bucket.
Why does his height matter? He's just a good passer.
Well, there is a school of thought.
Another discriminatory remark against big guys. I take exception.
All right. Noted. Speaking of big guys, 6'11" freshman Quincy Ballard from Syracuse is into the game. So at the 5 spot, we've seen Koprivica, Engam, Ballard, and even Osborne sometimes plays the 5. This is the only team in the conference that can really, have as many big bodies to throw out there against the big bodies that Carolina has.
That's absolutely right. And there are times in the earlier meetings when Tenor Engam came in, it wasn't so much when you saw Ballard come in. Ballard didn't play a ton of minutes, but you may see North Carolina try to trap the ball on the defensive end when Engam is in, because Koprivica can make a play if they throw back to him. If you double off of him when he's in a ball screen situation, he can make a play. Engam less likely to do that out on the perimeter.
And good to see Barnes back into the game after he looked like he was in some discomfort going out a couple of minutes ago after that big fall. And here comes Harris back in for Love. Harris, a guy who missed the first half of the year recovering from a torn ACL suffered last year. But as you mentioned, he's done some nice things here in the tournament for Carolina. Played 10 minutes last night against Virginia Tech, had 3 assists, 3 points, and he had 8 points the night before in 11 minutes against the Irish. Walker challenged by Sharp, still Florida State ball, and Walker's looking around from one official to the next, waiting for a whistle.
If you cannot finish above the rim in this game, it is going to be awfully difficult for you to play. With these big guys, you're going to get challenged every time you go to or near the rim.
Good matchup, Gray and Brooks. Nice kick. Walker from the corner misses the 3. Sharp the rebound.
Andrew Platek has some guts to stand in front of Raquan Gray on that.
And then Platek diving to the floor, and he got a timeout call.
Yeah, North Carolina's getting pressured, but they have to be stronger with the ball. Carolina's got too many turnovers, too many iffy passes.
9-point lead Seminoles. We're back in 30. Undoubtedly has heard, all college basketball fans have heard, Virginia, unfortunately, a positive test within their program, and due to contact tracing and COVID protocols, they are out of the ACC tournament. Same thing happened to Duke yesterday. So Georgia Tech, which beat Miami in a close one in the quarters, Josh Pastner's team now waiting to play the winner of this one in the championship game tomorrow night.
North Carolina shooting under 30% in this first half. Nowhere to go.
Locked it so easily, tipped it to himself, Koprivica did. Calhoun. And Koprivica puts it back in.
I don't know why Day'Ron Sharp wanted to try to block that shot out of midair, because it takes him out of rebounding and opened up the offensive glass for Koprivica.
7 points and 6 rebounds already for Balsa Koprivica.
He has done a really nice job. His mobility. Watch, Day'Ron Sharp tries to get this out of the air. Then there's nobody there. It took him out of blocking out Koprivica. And Andrew Platek's not going to be able to get in front of him and keep him off the glass. And Garrison Brooks was guarding somebody else. So sometimes a strength in shot blocking can be a weakness if you don't get it, but if you go after, you can't go after every blocked shot, because the downside of opening up the offensive glass for your opponent is too great.
And speaking of weaknesses, Carolina is not a very good free throw shooting team, 67% in the season, and not even getting to that level so far in this one. Sharp misses 2. Carolina's 5 out of 12 from the line.
And the Heels have got to keep Florida State out of the paint, because Florida State is doing a good job of attacking the lane and collapsing that defense.
Barnes way short on the threes, just a 27% three-point shooter.
That's the next step for him, is to become a better jump shooter.
Davis, no. Gray down with a rebound, and again Florida State looking to hustle the ball up the court. And just about anybody on the floor, except for the 5-man, in this case Koprivica, can lead them on the break. Whoa.
That was a good cut by MJ Walker. Barnes could have lobbed it up to Koprivica on the switch, but that was a nice cut from the corner. Just an errant pass by Barnes. He doesn't do much of that. He's got a 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio as a first-year point guard. That's pretty impressive, especially for a tall guy.
Are all tall guys as sensitive as you?
Yes.
You know, Leonard Hamilton made the point with us yesterday on our Zoom call that not only is he learning a new position, when you're learning point guard, and I think Roy Williams would say some of the same things about Caleb Love, when you're learning point guard, you got to know what everybody else is doing now. You've got to understand everybody else's jobs, because you're the guy who's trying to get the ball to people in a good spot. Harris gets a pretty good look. Gray another rebound.
Well, North Carolina's been unable to run any offense. That's what Florida State does. They take you out of your offense and make it difficult for you to run your set plays.
Gray misses the 3. Rebound Carolina.
Pretty strong box out there by Day'Ron Sharp. Just pushed Koprivica, wedged him underneath the basket.
Baseline jumper will go down for Harris, his second bucket of the night.
Harris must have thought something was wrong. He was so wide open.
Yeah. The Tar Heels trying to get untracked. Florida State still up by 9. ESPN's Outreach, thank you. Here in Greensboro, a 9-point lead for Florida State, and the Tar Heels, if you are a fan of Carolina, you're not going to like these numbers, because like not one of them is flattering right now. They're not shooting well from 2 or 3 or the line, and their assist to turnover ratio, to say the least, leaves a little bit to be desired so far. But again, give a lot of credit to Florida State. They are so tough to score against.
It's been all Florida State's defense. I think North Carolina can be much stronger and do a better job, but Florida State has taken Carolina out of everything they normally do. But still, it's an 11-point game. I mean, they're still within striking distance if they start doing things at a higher level. That's not it.
But again, that's a 7-1 guy, and Leaky Black's got to make all kinds of adjustments in midair.
Well, actually, you don't, because when you make those adjustments in air, you're giving the shot blocker a better opportunity to get it. You're lessening your opportunity to make it, and then you're not going to get fouled. You have to go straight up into the contact, and you're more likely to get fouled that way and far more likely to complete the play.
Walker a drive and a finish. Strong drive by MJ Walker.
Walker, early on in the game, he passed up a drive, and I'm near certain that Leonard Hamilton told him, you need to drive that ball. And the last few possessions, he drove Playtech from the right side, and then Leaky Black he was lower than Leaky Black. This is a shoulders game, and his shoulders were lower than Black's. He was able to get that left shoulder around Leaky Black, and then he's so strong, able to complete that play. MJ Walker, I thought, had a first-team All-ACC season. I was really surprised he didn't make first team.
Wound up in the second team. He had a great game against Carolina, middle of January in Tallahassee. 4 threes and scored 21 points. A much-needed bucket for Leaky Black and the Heels. And now a turnover.
Leaky Black needed to reverse that ball. They had 3 defenders on Anthony Harris at one point. And when he kicked it out, the ball just stuck with Leaky Black. He needed to get rid of that quicker.
Kessler the kick out to Love and an air ball on the 3. And this has been kind of the story of the year for Caleb Love. He's had some really good games, and one of them was against Notre Dame in the first game of this tournament. One of them was against Duke last weekend, but then last night against Virginia Tech. 2 for 12 tonight, struggling to put the ball in the basket. He's a gifted, talented player. He's just had trouble scoring this year.
Yeah, and he's going to figure it out because he is very talented and he's a good player. And he's going to get better and better. But coming into this game, he had taken 302 field goal attempts. That leads North Carolina. He missed 206. He's got to become a better finisher and a better shooter, and a lot of that has to do with the quality of shot that he takes.
Koprivica over Kessler, a little bit too strong, and Kessler down with a rebound. Nice look ahead, Love, Brooks, but they close out on Walton. Step in, Love. And Kessler will go to the line.
Walker Kessler had his best game of the season statistically against Florida State in Chapel Hill. Had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 block shots, went 9 of 10 from the field. And one of the things you love about Kessler is he goes after the ball with 2 hands every time. He's not one of those one-handed rebounders. He goes after it with both hands.
Kind of been fighting for minutes most of the year behind Bacot and Sharp and Brooks, but has been playing more in recent weeks, and especially like on a per minute basis, Jay, he has been remarkably productive.
Really incredible the improvement he's made, and coming into this game, the last 4 games he was 20 out of 26 from the field. Here's the full court pressure now from North Carolina. Looked like they wanted to get a quick trap, but Caleb Love wasn't up there on Scottie Barnes to join Garrison Brooks in that.
Raquan Gray, number 1 for Florida State, 6'8" redshirt junior from Fort Lauderdale. Such a versatile player, rebounding, distributing, steals as the Seminoles turn it over.
Much more aggressive defensively from North Carolina. They were really pressuring, and then Leaky Black with his pressure really caused that turnover.
And again, only a couple of thousand people here, but the vast majority of them rooting for the Tar Heels, and they are on their feet right now trying to encourage their team in the last 90 seconds of the half. Florida State ball. The Pac-12 tournament presented by New York Life continues tonight with the semifinals. Oregon State's playing Oregon right now, and later on it'll be USC and Colorado. You can see that game at 11:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Pacific, right here on ESPN.
When Evan Mobley, the freshman from USC, player of the year in the Pac-12, freshman of the year, and defensive player of the year.
Not bad.
That's never happened in that league, and the last player to do that in a major conference was Anthony Davis at Kentucky in 2012.
Pretty good company. Brooks staying in front of Gray. Gray with an 18-footer that goes down.
What a year Raquan Gray has had, and he loves seeing North Carolina. He's averaging 18 points in the 2 games coming into this one against the Tar Heels. At 19 in the first game, and that started a great run for him, a 12-game stretch where he scored in double figures in every game and averaged 16.
Six to shoot. Love will launch and hit a deep 3.
So what a big bucket. And here's a big defensive possession right here. If North Carolina get a stop, being down 8 would be a victory.
Run it right down. 10 seconds. Barnes asking for a ball screen.
Good job by Carolina to stay home on shooters.
Oh, and a three for Malik Osborne to turn an 8-point lead into an 11-point lead at halftime.
That's his third three of the first half, I believe. And Malik Osborne came into the game. He came into this game having made 10 threes on the season. The step back and his third three of the first half. What a fantastic shot. Little sort of pick and stay. You don't see a lot of stretch fours with step back jumpers at the buzzer.
There have been 4 threes made in the game by the two teams combined, and Malik Osborne's got 3 of them. And Florida State's got an 11-point lead on North Carolina going to halftime here in the semifinal. As is almost always the case, you get balanced scoring from Leonard Hamilton's Seminoles. And speaking of Leonard Hamilton, he is with Allison Williams.
Coach Hamilton, a nice exclamation point there to end the half. Your team hasn't played in almost a week. What were your biggest takeaways from the first 20 minutes?
Well, there's no doubt that we're showing signs of not playing a lot of games in a long period of time, and we've been kind of recovering for some little small injuries. But I thought our kids were committed. They played hard. We didn't play super, but I thought we played with a tremendous amount of energy. We tried to neutralize them on the boards and tried to cut down on their turnovers. This is a very, very good basketball team, and we got 20 more minutes to go, and we're going to have to play even better in the second half.
You mentioned trying to neutralize them on the boards. That's so key against North Carolina. How do you think you guys have done there?
Well, I haven't looked at the stats, but I think we're holding our own. At least we haven't been dominated as much as they were the last time they played us. They had 20 offensive rebounds, and that's way too many.
Awesome, Leonard. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Dan.
All right, Allison, thank you. It's a standstill on the boards right now, and that one of the reasons why Florida State is leading by 11, 35-24 Seminoles. Let's send it back to the studio with Reese and the guys.
Dan, Carolina might have Florida State right where it wants them. 2 weeks ago, we were sitting right here in these very chairs. Florida State had a 12-point lead. What about this game in the Big 12 semifinals? Baylor and Oklahoma State. Is Cade Cunningham the #1 pick in the draft?
Cade Cunningham is definitely the #1 pick in the draft. 25 points for him. And I love the pace that he plays with, but it's not just him. Avery Anderson, 24 points a game over the last 2 years.
Bills need to come out in the second half and put more pressure defensively on Florida State. Maybe come out and scramble, trap. They're going to have to get some things off their defense, because if you're just going to go, in the half court to go against this excellent Florida State defense is not going to go well.
You saw the first half stats brought to you by New York Life. Carolina shooting just 27% in the half. Let's bring in Allison.
Roy Williams felt like his team played poorly in all aspects. But that being said, he goes, if Malik Osborne doesn't hit that 3 at the end, you feel a lot different being down 8 instead of the 11 points they're down. The biggest focus in the second half, they have to get the ball inside. The guards have to do a better job of it. And when they get the ball inside, the bigs have to finish and do something. He said 2 of 6 is not going to cut it inside.
And I think, Allison, thank you, the two officials were kind of looking at one another, and I think Roger Ayers got Balsa Koprivica for using the left arm there to hook his way around Bacot.
He absolutely did, and that was a good call. It was a good move, but for the hook. And Koprivica had an excellent first half. He had 7 points, 7 rebounds.
Allison talked about getting the ball inside. They go right to it. The 4 big guys for Carolina, Jay, combined for only 9 points in the first half. If they're going to win this game, they got to get a lot more out of their big guys in the second half.
More out of the big guys, more out of the guards. But this was a pass that was caught outside of the lane, and it was very well defended, but for the foul. I mean, he came over and got him on the arm. But Raquan Gray was right there. That was a difficult finish. And here's the full court pressure right now by North Carolina. I think that the Heels need to do this to try to speed up Florida State, get Florida State to turn the ball over a little bit.
And Walker turns it over. A little miscommunication with Gray, or rather with Evans. And you can see how the coach feels about it.
In the last ball game in the second half, North Carolina at times would trap when the ball came across half court, and then off of ball screen actions, especially when Ngom was in there, they would trap off those, and had some good success trying to really affect Florida State with a little bit more pressure defense.
Black with a drive but couldn't finish, and it belongs now to Polite.
Polite looked like he twisted his ankle there.
Yeah, he is grimacing as he makes his way up the court. Evans, and a foul on Love.
Raekwon Evans had 10 points and 4 assists in the last game against North Carolina. And he is a driver and a ball mover. And that was a good drive to go right into the contact and get to the foul line.
6'4" senior from Billings, Montana at the line for a couple. Again, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets await the winner of this game. A reminder, a Pac-12 semifinal. USC, Colorado, coming up a little bit later on tonight on ESPN. As now Polite, again, with what looks like a tender ankle, he's going to go out, and Sadar Calhoun will come back in. So the Yellow Jackets await the winner. Georgia Tech, the 4th seed in the ACC this year, the player of the year in Moses Wright, and the defensive player of the year in Jose Alvarado.
And Georgia Tech likes to mix defenses. They'll play a zone, a hybrid, and they can be very difficult to play against.
Bacot, and another bucket for Bacot here early in the second half.
Lost control of the ball. That actually kept him from walking on that. But Bacot, he wound up sitting a good bit of the first half with those 2 fouls. But he's come out in the second half aggressive. He's played with much more aggressiveness and confidence over the last 4 or 5 games.
Has sat for the last 9 minutes of the first half after picking up a second foul.
He's been the Tar Heels' most consistent player throughout the season.
Leading scorer just over 12 a game. Walker, no. Koprivica, yes.
Too many people going with the ball, and it opened up the offensive glass again for Koprivica. Good pass.
Walton into Bacot. And look at Bacot run it down. Love rejected by Koprivica.
Good pass.
And a good fake by Walker. Can't finish it, but it bounces out to Calhoun.
He was expecting contact there. That was an interesting defensive play by Garrison Brooks, and a smart one because he backed off just at the end. And MJ Walker wound up missing that shot because he expected it to be blocked or challenged like that.
Gray misses the shot, and now Walker's called for the foul. And the shoes come off for Anthony Polite as they take a look at the right foot or right ankle. Selection Sundays, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN. Bracketology with Reese Davis, LaFonso Ellis, Seth Greenberg, Dickie V, and of course Jay Billis. Sports Center gets it started at 5:15 as Reese and the guys reveal the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. And still a lot to be decided. A lot of bubble teams. A lot of teams will be sweating it out between now and Sunday, and a lot of automatic bids still to be decided.
Carolina just running a horn set at the top. You got 2 screeners up top, 2 players in the corner. That's called a horn set. And Caleb Love just coming off the right side of it. And there was a little fade screen, but he just got all the way to the basket off the switch. Really good drive.
Speaking of using a screen, Scottie Barnes just did, and he slams home another one.
Well, Florida State just lifted up the North Carolina defense, and Barnes able to drive it. Man, when he gets a head of steam downhill, forget it.
He's one of these guys you can look at the end of the night and he's got like 9, 7, 5, and 3. He can be that kind of a guy. But he is a great fake there by Leaky Black.
What a beautiful fake by Leaky Black. Fakes the pass, gets the defense to bite on it, just lays it in. That was really nice.
Calhoun with a full head of steam. Koprivica inside. Boy, he's missed about 3 right near the rim.
Just needs to go up stronger, gather himself.
Love. And Walker corrals it. And then Black picks it off. Bad decision there by Walker. Love for 3. Got it.
Well, good decision by Leaky Black. It looked like he was going to try to force a pass underneath, but out of the corner of his eye, caught Caleb Love.
Boy, and when Love knocks down a shot, look at how his energy picks up instantly. He knows he's struggling, but he knows that was a big bucket, Jay, for the Heels.
Carolina getting it done with defense. Much more energy in the second half. Nothing soft. Everything has been strong. The fake deception by Leaky Black. And then Black with a great pass to Caleb Love. And everyone loves the result. Except maybe the Seminoles.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sofa Life Above the Rim Can, streaming live on the ESPN app. There it is right there. Gives you a different look as teams are running their stuff.
Kerwin Walton in the ball game for North Carolina. He is their best three-point shooter and can stretch the floor. Now switch, Bacot on Barnes. Barnes picked up his dribble, and they're trying to get the ball to Ngom, but they switch back.
And Polite back in the game for Florida State, a good sign for them. Osborne for three. Rebound Walton.
Good job by Leaky Black to box out Ngom.
And now a steal. Calhoun with a two-handed flush.
It looked like North Carolina they ran into one another, and Calhoun took advantage of it. Trying to set that screen in the backcourt.
Love called for the charge. Number 3 on Caleb Love. Early second half, semifinal. Florida State leading by 6. Great play near the end of the game against Miami's. The save, getting back into bounds, the long pass, the bucket, the dagger, the whole thing. And if you haven't seen Georgia Tech, they are a feisty bunch. And they are awaiting the winner of this game. Boy, how did that not go down? It'll be the Yellow Jackets against the winner of Carolina and Florida State. 8:30 tomorrow night right here on ESPN.
Bacot was open with Ngom on him.
Walton rattles down a 3. You mentioned he's their best three-point shooter, 41% on the season.
And he's had 5 games this year where he's made 4 or more three-point shots. And if he can knock down a few shots, that can loosen some things up for the big guys inside.
Those are his first points of this game.
North Carolina usually reacts really positively when Kerwin Walton makes a shot. Good pass.
Ngom fouled hard inside.
Kerwin Walton is a pure shooter, and he comes up from that corner. Polite put late pressure on, but it's just a different vibe when he hits a shot. Maybe it's because Carolina knows he can hit another one and another one and another one because he is such a good shooter.
At the line for the Seminoles, the 7'2" senior Tenor Ngom from Senegal. Played for 3 years at Ryerson University in Toronto. Roy Rana, who had a great run at Ryerson, is now an assistant coach with the Sacramento Kings. First saw Ngom when Ryerson went to Senegal as part of a community involvement initiative. And there was a basketball program going on there, and some of Senegal's best high school players were there. Ngom was there. He played in Toronto for a few years and is now spending a season. And again, this being a free year, he could easily come back for another year under Leonard Hamilton.
You and I saw him play at Ryerson.
Yes.
Played against Duke a few summers ago.
That was the Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett year where Duke did a tour up in Canada. And I remember looking it up a couple of weeks ago when I had Florida State. Ngom had 12 points and 6 rebounds in that game against Duke.
Played very well.
Davis the save. Bacot went strong to the rim, didn't get the foul call, but Brooks does.
Boy, what a nice play by R.J. Davis to save that ball. The pass was off by Anthony Harris, and he saved it right to Bacot. And Koprivica, when he tried to get the ball or knock it away, just gave Bacot the angle that led to that miss in the offensive rebound. This game is so similar in character to the game that was played in Chapel Hill. The game that North Carolina won. It looked like it was game over at halftime in that one. Carolina turned the ball over 14 times. I mean, it was. And then they were down 16 in that ball game and still wound up winning.
Here comes the pressure again from the heels. Wyatt Wilkes almost stepped out of bounds. Somehow still has possession, and somehow they get out of it. And they'll get a dunk.
I think Roy Williams is going to have some questions about why that wasn't called an offensive foul, but good job by Wyatt Wilkes to get it out of there, to be strong with that ball, because a lot of players would have lost it.
Well, Koprivica now at a double figures with 11. He's the high scorer in the game right now.
Got a switch now. Calhoun on Garrison Brooks.
And a reach and foul. I think they'll get Wilkes.
Well, you never want to catch the ball in the corner because there's nowhere to go. And Anthony Harris went down, didn't get the call, and all of a sudden it's an advantage situation. And when Leaky Black went to try to stop Scottie Barnes, Barnes is such a good passer, able to drop it off to Koprivica. Koprivica puts up yet another bucket. He's had a really good game, both scoring and rebounding for Florida State.
And I beg your pardon, the foul on Sadar Calhoun, his first. Barnes out. And Evans back in for the Seminoles. Walton, his second free.
Well, you have to have an awareness for Kerwin Walton. He knocked one down on the other side of the floor, and then he's able to waltz into a shot there on an out of bounds underneath where you can set your defense. He cannot be allowed to shoot the ball from the catch spot.
80% of his field goal attempts this season have been from beyond the arc.
There's Kerwin Walton right here, and he's just going to loop right around. Just a little screen there from Armando Bacot, and Calhoun just not sure where he was. You have to have an awareness as soon as that play starts. Everybody's got to call out. There's Walton. He's the guy you have to guard.
And Florida State turns it over.
Another terrific play by R.J. Davis.
That would have tied it. Sharp working hard on the glass. Bacot comes up with it. Walton to tie it again.
The best time to shoot a three-point shot is after an offensive rebound. Carolina proving that right there and alertly getting the ball to their best shooter, Kerwin Walton.
Down 11 at the half. They have tied it. A block by Bacot. And now the Heels look for the lead.
Numbers. Good pass. Calhoun did a really good job of finding Kerwin Walton. That could have been another three.
Davis trying to shake Wilkes. 15 to shoot. Bacot strong.
Things have loosened up for North Carolina in large measure because of Kerwin Walton.
One and 8.5 minutes here in the second half for North Carolina. Coming all the way back, and Jay, it started with a Walton starting to knock down some threes.
Kerwin Walton has really loosened this game up and opened it up for the big guys.
Back from an 11-point halftime deficit to take a 2-point lead. The Heels have scored as many points in the first 8.5 minutes of the second half as they scored in the entire first half.
Well, Carolina's been a second half team all year long. I think if I were Roy Williams, I would just before the game give the team sliced up oranges and just pretend it was halftime before the game starts.
Not a bad idea. Different looking lineup now for the Seminoles. As Gray, everything but the finish on the drive. They don't have Koprivica or Ngam, the 7-footers out there. Sharp running the floor hard, and it's a 4-point lead for the Heels.
That's when the small lineup can bite you, because Day'Ron Sharp, that was just a rim run. Look at how hard he runs, and then all credit to Sadar Calhoun, but he's not stopping that train. What a great play by Day'Ron Sharp, and Day'Ron Sharp was a teammate of Scottie Barnes at Montverde Academy. Those two know each other really well. He could have given some advice to Calhoun that might not be a good idea to get in front of Day'Ron Sharp when he's running full speed.
11-0 run Carolina. Those are the first points of the night for Day'Ron Sharpe, who averages just under 10 a game.
Well, former teammate guarding former teammate. Barnes is being guarded by Sharpe. I'm going to go get the ball and drive that matchup. Good fake.
And a good look here for Gray. Offensive rebound, Barnes. It's a very experienced Florida State team. They've had a lot of success together. Walker. Barnes. Nicely done.
Really good job. Carolina got caught on a switch. Kerwin Walton stuck guarding Malik Osborne inside, and Osborne was able to shield him off so that he couldn't get down to the baseline to help on that drive. Good pin in. Good screen by R.J. Davis to get an opportunity for Walton on the wing.
And a mismatch down low. Polite got caught on Sharpe, and Sharpe made it look easy.
Carolina ran that pin in action a lot in Chapel Hill, and that helped open up the post pass as well. So worried about Kerwin Walton.
Remember what Leonard Hamilton said to Allison Williams in their interview at the end of the first half. He said there's still 20 minutes to go, and quote, we'll have to play better in the second half than we did in the first to win this one. And he had an 11-point lead when he said that. And it's been a different game here in the second half.
Well, North Carolina's been so much more aggressive on the defensive end as well. It's not just that they're running better offense. It's all connected, that because of their defense improving, their offense has been much better.
Not this time for Sharpe. Barnes all alone right now. He's going to try to take it the distance, and he draws the foul.
Now take a look right here. You're going to see Walton here. Walton's going to come for a little handoff, and now watch, he's going to screen in, and see that little pin in screen. And then when Malik Osborne comes out, all of a sudden you got Polite guarding Sharpe inside, and that opened things up for Carolina to get the ball inside. And that's the importance of having Kerwin Walton out on the floor, because of the threat he is to shoot the ball.
In your opinion, win or lose this game, whatever happens for Carolina, are they a much better team than they were earlier in the year, just because they're so young and they're just, they're figuring it out week by week now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question. I mean, this young man right here, Walker Kessler, has gotten better and better throughout the year. Caleb Love's improved. R.J. Davis has improved. They've all gotten better. But, North Carolina, sometimes North Carolina, Duke, you get spoiled by some of the superstar freshman talent that they've had. I mean, Kobe White a couple years ago, you just wind him up and let him go. That was a different animal there. What a great player he was and is in the NBA. Oh, that looked like a carry there.
Gray, it won't go, but a foul on Kessler. Raekwon Gray to the line for Florida State. Third team all ACC. Jay told you about the run he's been on. 12 consecutive games in double figures. And this is a guy, Florida State uses this as much as any program in the country, right up there with Baylor, I would think. This guy redshirted 3 years ago. Right. A lot of these guys redshirt. They're patient. They use the year, get better, get stronger, and then you look 3-4 years down the road, and they've had unbelievable careers.
Well, look what Raekwon Gray has done this year. I mean, he leads Florida State in rebounding, steals. He's second in assists and offensive rebounds, second in blocks. And he's such a good defender. He's got quick hands. He can get out into passing lanes, get deflections.
I bet she's up there in bench press, too. That's not in the notes, but, we'll try to find out.
And, if he helps out with parking violations, he can move the car all by himself. Yeah. Good job by Anthony Polite, basically blowing off that handoff and forcing the turnover.
And now Florida State can reclaim the lead.
Walker Kessler's in the ball game. They want to try to put him in ball screen situations in the middle of the floor. Took advantage of him there. And I'm not sure that Roy Williams is going to be able to leave him out on the floor that long, because Florida State's going to keep doing that.
And as you say that, Brooks and Bacot both getting ready to come back in. How about the patience of Barnes keeping the dribble alive and letting the play develop?
Yes. He really understands how to pass and how to play with that pace. Don't have to go 1,000 miles an hour. Not a great shot by Leaky Black. He can make it, but that's not what I think Roy Williams would have drawn up for him.
The Light dribbled into a double team and turned it over.
They have to be stronger with the ball there.
And then Gray called for his third foul.
Well, take a look at Koprivica here after the ball screen in the middle of the floor. That makes Walker Kessler have to guard the ball and then recover. And Scottie Barnes just threw it right up to Koprivica for the easy finish.
Worth more than you think. Don't open that. Wealth is important, and we can help you build it. But it's what you do with it that makes life worth living. Principal, for all it's worth.
We come for the stadium and the backyard. We come for the receptions and the repetitions.
Only the strong survive. That's why we here.
We come for the celebration and the preparation. We don't just come for the fall. We come for it all.
In March, Mexico's national team arrives in Europe on a tour to play against the best. Saturday the 27th, the legendary Red Dragons open their cage to welcome El Tri in a match that promises non-stop action. Wales versus Mexico. Later, Tuesday the 30th, another Central American giant lands in Austria to test their guns against La Tricolor. Costa Rica versus Mexico. The best soccer is played here on the Univision networks and platforms.
Broken air conditioning, $4,400. Failing refrigerator, $2,500. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered appliance or system breaks, we'll repair it or replace it for you. Why let a major appliance or system breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of finding trustworthy service people?
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
It's absolutely worth it. Call 1-800-860-4881 for a free no-obligation quote.
Semi-final action at the New York Life ACC Tournament. Two really good teams. Carolina playing its best basketball of the season, and the 2 seed Florida State, the winner, moving on to the championship game tomorrow night against the Georgia Tech Yellowjackets. It's been a good game.
It has been a hotly contested, very physical game. And finishing around the rim has not been a picnic.
Last foul on the Seminoles. Raquan Gray, the 7th on Florida State. So the bonus here for Leaky Black in the heels. A look at the last 9 ACC tournament champions. There has not been a repeat winner during that time, and there won't be this year. Florida State ball.
You don't see that very often, where the ball just comes right back to the shooter, and basically nobody else touched it. Full court pressure from North Carolina.
Koprivica back into the game, and he's going to help him get it over. Ooh, ooh, no, a foul is the call.
Ooh. That's an interesting call, because it looked like, unless there were 2 hands on him, yeah, that's not a foul, because he lost control of the ball. That's not a foul. That's a trap.
Yeah. They gave it to Brooks, his 3rd.
Is that right?
Yeah, they gave it to Brooks for reaching in. I think he might have had 2 hands on the arm, but yeah, you're. And I was like you. My eye went to the other defender, but they gave it to Garrison Brooks.
That's interesting.
And bonus the other way now.
Even Garrison Brooks is like, come on, man. But they're going to check to see who the foul was on. And this can be requested. The referees know who they called it on. But I think Roy Williams must have requested, otherwise they wouldn't go look. I mean, you always kind of laugh when they do this, saying, don't they know who they called it? They know, but the coach is asked.
So watch Brooks come in, and
he'd already lost the ball there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no foul there, period. So they changed it.
Changed, yeah, it's on Leaky Black. Okay.
So maybe they didn't know who they called it on because there was no foul.
Yeah. So instead of it being the third on Brooks, it's the second on Black. Walker already made the first. They don't want to let Davis get the ball. They're going to make other people try to get it over. Now they got Black in a tough spot.
And let him out of it.
Haven't seen a ton of Caleb Love here in the second half. We have seen more of Davis in recent minutes at the point.
Scottie Barnes guarding Kerwin Walton. And that's a lot of length. Now switch off.
Bacot came out of the second half incredibly aggressive. Shot clock running down. They got to force it up. They get it back. And Florida State got a bit of a break there.
Leaky Black kept that ball alive. Couldn't grab it, but tipped it so that Garrison Brooks could grab it. Now that middle ball screen. Now they're going to go against Bacot.
And Walton knocks it away. Ahead to Davis. And they can't convert. Here comes Barnes. Little Euro step knocked out of bounds, and it's back over to Carolina.
Well, not the strongest of moves by Scottie Barnes there. You just want to go square your shoulders, go off 2 feet, and go right into Bacot. Instead, he tries a Euro step and lost the ball. That's where you got to use your size and just go in, expect the contact, welcome it, get fouled, and try to finish that play.
That's the 17th turnover tonight for Florida State.
Very loose with the ball, especially in the second half.
Love back into the game for Carolina. He's got the ball now.
Calhoun on Bacot. They need to get the ball to him.
Off the miss. Down with a rebound is Osborne. Koprivica with a finish.
Koprivica just beat everybody down the floor. That was an unusual sequence because that offensive rebound looked like it was right there for both Brooks and Bacot to grab, and neither one of them went after it with the fervor they usually do.
Balsa Koprivica with 15 points and 9 rebounds. Great pass from Walton to Brooks. Bacot there to clean it up.
Great job by Bacot to go after that. There was contact on Garrison Brooks when he went up for that shot. No call. But Bacot was right there to clean up the mess.
And he's got a dozen right near his season average.
I wonder, this is Carolina's 3rd game in as many nights. If there is a little bit of fatigue down the stretch.
Barnes the drive.
Oh.
Tried to reverse it. Koprivica. And is it on Brooks?
Has to be.
It is.
Koprivica went right into his chest and knocked him back. Talk about dislodging. Watch this. Goes right into his chest.
I thought they might get him for the left arm there.
Well, and there was no foul there. That was all ball. But, you know, oftentimes you go into someone's chest like that, a defender's chest, they're gonna call you for an offensive foul.
Let's bring Allison in.
Well, you see this tremendous performance from Koprivica. We saw Ngam get in earlier, and this continues a trend of international 7-footers that have come to play for the Seminoles. You remember guys like Chris Kamaji and Boris Bojanovski from Senegal, Serbia, Nigeria, Slovak Republic. I mean, they go all over the world to find international 7-footers, and it's amazing how Leonard Hamilton's teams change year after year, but that is something that remains consistent. They've had 7 of them in the last 10 seasons.
And a lot of teams, you know, in some ways the game is getting smaller where, you know, bigs are stepping out and teams are downsizing a little bit, but not Florida State.
That requires bigger beds and higher shower heads.
Love the handoff. And you got to switch. Got a big guy on him.
Koprivica can move his feet.
How about that? What a shot for Love.
Well, Caleb Love has missed some open ones, and he makes that one. That was a big-time shot over the outstretched arm of Balsa Koprivica.
He is 4 for 13 tonight, Love is now, but boy, some of his makes have been timely.
Really nice job by Bacot to stay in front of Raquan Gray.
What an answer by Sadar Calhoun.
Calhoun shoots 42-43% from 3, and he is an athlete, man. He can really get up on that jumper.
Florida State, the #1 3-point shooting team in the conference, better than 38% on the season. Soft touch for Walton. A rare 2 for Kerwin Walton.
Well, and Walton is such a good shooter. Defenders close out on him to make him put it on the deck, and he just attacked that closeout.
Calhoun again. Carolina looking for the lead. Davis got a switch.
Got to look to throw the ball inside. A little action now with Bacot and Walton. Got to go to Walton's side.
Davis. And a foul is called on the 3-point attempt.
Well, that's a deflating play for Florida State. But Caleb Love threw the legs right over the outstretched arm of Balsa Koprivica. That's a big-time shot. And then the answer from Sadar Calhoun. We're making shots, Dan Shulman.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years. Life ACC Tournament semifinal action between North Carolina and Florida State. The Seminoles led by 11 at the half. Carolina roared back. The lead has bounced back and forth. At the beginning of the second half, it was Bacot inside, kind of getting them back into it. But since then, it's been the guards knocking down shots.
Yeah, Kerwin Walton came in. He's knocked down 3 threes. Couple of threes from Caleb Love. One off an offensive rebound. That other one he put up over Koprivica. Just a huge lift to see the ball go through the basket for the Carolina guards, and then it opens up things for the Carolina big guys inside. Those two things are connected. But really, Carolina's defense in this second half got them back into this where they were able to take the lead.
And after the foul by Sadar Calhoun, R.J. Davis 3 free throws, and he makes them all.
Davis is a good shooter. He had some issues early on. A lot of it was shot selection. But he's gonna be a very good shooter in his time at the University of North Carolina. Box set.
Interesting, Jay. No M.J. Walker, no Scottie Barnes on the floor. And again, Leonard Hamilton's got a lot of guys, and he uses all of them. But those are 2 of his key guys, right? In Walker and Barnes, and neither one is in the game right. Oh, I'm sorry. Walker is in the game. Forgive me. Walker is in the game, but Barnes is on the bench right now as Polite goes to the line.
Well, Leonard Hamilton can always put Scottie Barnes in at the end of a game to make a play if he wants to keep him out.
Yeah,
he's coming back in
here
now.
It comes. And Barnes had a game-winning drive against Indiana and an overtime forcing driving layup against Wake Forest. The Seminoles won that game in overtime, and should it get there, Florida State has won its last 11 overtime games.
Barnes has that clutch gene. At the end of games, he can make plays instinctively.
Bacot blocked by Koprivica. Tar Heel ball with 4 on the shot clock.
Boy, Anthony Polite was really battling Day'Ron Sharp. He got caught on a switch with Sharp. And then Koprivica able to block that right out of the hands of Armando Bacot.
3rd block of the night for Balsa Koprivica.
You really have to get up near the rim to be able to finish, and above the rim to finish in this crowd.
Again, 4 to shoot. Sharp.
That is not what North Carolina wanted.
And And the shot clock violation turns it back over to the Seminoles.
They ran a little play where Leaky Black screened in to try to get Dayron Sharp for a lob, couldn't get it. Then when he popped out and caught the ball, he needed to pass it right away because that was not the shot they wanted.
And it looks like Roy Williams doing a little offense defense subbing right now. Walton comes out. Harris has come back in on defense.
Sharp guarding Raekwon Gray. Running that same play. They just got that foul. Now the back screen. Barnes looks like he's limping a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, remember first half, a big fall that he had. Maybe it's still bugging him. Polite, a pretty good look, and he buries it.
There's the overhelp that we talked about a little bit earlier. Anthony Harris helps off and really didn't need to. Sort of got caught in no man's land. And on the pass out to Polite, you know, that was just an easy catch and shoot opportunity.
Davis driving by Gray. Koprivica got a piece of another one, but it is out of bounds to the heels.
Boy, Florida State had a run out, but for that, this is a tough spot to finish. And you see Raekwon Gray just with his foot on the line there.
Inside 2 minutes, though, so they can and they will have a look at this one to see whose ball it is.
It's interesting that they'd be looking at that. It was pretty clear who had the ball. Just a question whether they thought he stepped out.
Yeah, Gray kind of backpedaling and stumbled over Davis. Yeah, he's out of bounds.
Yeah, but it's not even an issue of, you know, replay is for when the ball goes off of someone, not if somebody stepped out of bounds. Stepping out of bounds is not a reviewable play. Maybe they were looking at the clock. Who knows? Yeah, they probably were, because that's not reviewable. So it had to be the shot clock or something.
So Carolina ball with 20 on the shot clock, down a point with 1:47 to go, and the winner off to the championship game tomorrow night against Georgia Tech. Love to inbound.
Walton's inside. That means he's going to get a screen to come out or set a screen.
Koprivica's on Walton right now. 5 on the shot clock. Love's got to make something happen. Scoops it up too strong. Florida State ball.
Just a really poor possession by North Carolina. Too much dribble. Nobody helped Garrison Brooks when he had the ball and picked up his dribble. That's not the shot that you wanted there. Same set, back screen. Now Scottie Barnes coming off the other side.
Got another screen from Koprivica as the shot clock winds under 10.
Good job by Walton. Walker coming across as a baseline runner.
Walker the drive and charge.
Well, that took a while to figure out.
Two officials were looking at each other, kind of making sure they were on the same page, and it was Clarence Armstrong who eventually signaled a charge on MJ Walker.
Caleb Love was there before Walker took off from the floor.
Light doesn't want to let Love get the ball, so Davis will bring it up for the Heels into the final minute in a 1-point game.
Got a screen up top by Bacot. Got the switch.
Driving. No foul. Florida State ball and a Carolina foul.
That's just too awfully difficult for the diminutive, at least in this game, R.J. Davis trying to go off the dribble without a pass against the shot blocking and size. I mean, did a terrific job there. Scottie Barnes just walling up and forcing R.J. Davis to try to finish through him. And you had Koprivica behind to be able to wipe it away.
Yep, very good no call. Very good defense by the freshman. And now Raekwon Gray, a 79% free throw shooter, is at the line for 2. That's the 10th foul.
You know, on that drive by Davis, the drive's not a bad thing, but he can turn and just pitch it back if somebody loops behind him.
Two big free throws and a 3-point lead.
But Florida State really tightened up the defense the last several possessions. And now North Carolina does not have to have a 3 here. There's plenty of time.
Carolina's still got 3 timeouts. Florida State's got 1. They'll do everything they can to make sure Walton can't take a 3. Misses the runner.
Got a push on the rebound.
On Florida State, yes. On Barnes. Yeah. 10th team foul, so 2 free throws coming for the Heels.
Day'Ron Sharp just a little over 53% from the free throw line. One thing you have to be aware of, Dan, if you're Florida State, is on a missed free throw, North Carolina likes to tap it out.
Yeah, nobody does it better.
And you've got 2 Carolina shooters out there. And if you're alert, you can go get that ball and take it the other way.
Roy Williams will take a timeout. Well, it has been a tournament, obviously, that has been impacted to an extensive degree by COVID, with first Duke yesterday and then Virginia today. Both getting knocked out of the tournament, not by another team, but by a positive test, contact tracing, COVID protocols, all the things we've all become so familiar with. Duke Athletic Director Kevin White announcing yesterday their season is over. Virginia put out a statement today. Tony Bennett and others, they still hope to play in the NCAA tournament. And from what we understand, teams like Louisville and Syracuse, who played against the teams that got knocked out by a positive test, so far so good for the Cardinals in the orange.
Yeah, they're in good shape from what we've been told, both Syracuse and Louisville. And we mentioned that Virginia has already gone back to Charlottesville, but they began their quarantine here in Greensboro and were allowed by local health officials in the Charlottesville area to bus back under quarantine conditions. Now, North Carolina took that time out in order to be able to set up what they're going to do here, make or miss defensively. Now, if it's a make, you know they're gonna press. And you have to expect it's going to be a man on the ball.
Gray the rebound. And they'll foul Koprivica. You could hear everybody yelling on the Carolina things to go foul somebody. Koprivica is a 70% free throw shooter.
He's a good free throw shooter. He's got a very nice shooting touch.
You notice I didn't say he's a good free throw shooter for a big guy. I just said
you were thinking it though, weren't you?
I thought if I left it out, I might get a little credit for just saying it.
Look at Raekwon Gray trying to. Raekwon Gray is trying to shoot the free throw. He was not the one fouled. I thought they stopped doing that when Travis Ford did it back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah. It'll be Koprivica at the line, and you know what? Leonard Hamilton and the Seminoles got to be really, really happy with the effort they've gotten tonight from the big fella.
Yeah, he has played extraordinarily well, really at both ends of the floor. He's impacted the game with his shot blocking and shot changing, and his mobility really impressive. Not just his ability to run the floor in a straight line on rim runs, but he can switch off and guard a smaller player for a few dribbles. Just excellent mobility when he sets a screen and rolls to the basket. A double-double for Balsa Koprivica. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocked shots, and a number of shot changes around the rim. And that's one efficient performance.
But right now, they need him to knock down a free throw to turn a 3-point lead into a 4-point lead. Still almost 15 seconds to go. And he does it. He'll go out. Osborne back in for the Seminoles.
And Florida State can put some pressure on in the full court to make it difficult and take time for North Carolina to get it up court. Got to go. You cannot stop here.
They're looking for Walton, their best shooter. A challenge look. And then Leaky Black lays it in, but there are only 2.7 seconds remaining.
Well, North Carolina is going to have to get a steal here. But the pressure in the backcourt was really important to take extra time off. And it was very difficult for R.J. Davis to get the ball up court and get into some. That's wasted time there. And then a good job chasing Kerwin Walton and making him take an off-balance, very difficult shot. So you wound up burning 9 seconds or so to get that 2, rather than, if you don't put that full court pressure on, a guard can get ahead of steam, maybe get all the way to the rim. Really the best scenario here for North Carolina is to get a 5-second call. So face guard, get a big on the ball and make it difficult to get it in. And if you can get a tie-up, North Carolina's got the possession arrow.
And if they don't, then an immediate foul. Hope whoever it is misses at least one, and you get some kind of Hail Mary opportunity. Roy Williams, his last win was number 903, the win over Virginia Tech last night. Number 903 as he moved 1 win ahead of Bob Knight. This is one of the most celebrated and successful coaches in college basketball history.
Well, you can see longtime Florida State assistant Stan Jones, the last thing that was said before the team left the huddle was, "We have 1 timeout." So if you get in trouble, if you see a referee counting to 4, and they are capable of doing that, you can call timeout.
Gray to inbound, and Bacot trying to be as big a distraction as he can. They get it into Walker, and most of the time runs off the clock, and Walker's going to go to the line for 2 free throws, and Coach Williams not happy with how that turned out.
Well, he probably thought there was a little bit of a walk there too on the catch, and you know, it wasn't called, but what, 1, 2, 3, yep, he did. Yeah, that's a walk. But oftentimes it's amazing on normal catches how little that's called, but yet if you put the ball on the deck and try to make a step back move.
82% shooter, misses the first.
If you miss this one, it'd be a heck of a lot harder for North Carolina to get anything but just a heave. But I still say make it.
And a timeout for Carolina with 1 second left.
So this is basically just a heave down court, and even if there's a foul, it's not a problem. When the ball's in the air, I think Florida State has to treat that as a loose ball and go get it. And if you climb somebody's back, fine.
Right.
It's amazing how much better over the years. When Christian Laettner made that shot in 1992, long passes and shots, they didn't happen very often. Everything's gotten so much more sophisticated. You know, you really have to practice this stuff and to practice defending it.
The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets awaiting the winner of this one tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern time, right here on ESPN. Carolina looking for a miracle. Leaky Black will inbound it. They've got Bacot, Davis, Walton, and Harris.
Scottie Barnes will be on the ball with those long arms. He's got over a 7-foot wingspan. And Black should be able to run the baseline here.
Here we go. And Harris can't handle the pass, and Florida State will win it. The Seminoles have advanced to the championship game here in the ACC tournament for just the 4th time in program history. And how about this? It's just the 2nd time without a school from North Carolina being in the final. And it's the first time, Jay,